He who contributes by manual labor to the great stock of wealth must in justice be entitled to some reward. But in vain does the wretched slave fell the forests, clear the grounds, prepare them for seed, watch and cultivate the tender plant, reap down and gather in the harvest, and bear it to the market. Our inhuman tyrants take the whole to riot in drunkenness and debauchery upon, and to aggrandize themselves and families, and we, who have borne the heat and burden of the day, get nothing but kicks and curses for all our labor. With what execration should the statesman be loaded who, permitting one half the citizens thus to trample on the rights of the other, transforms those into despots and these into enemies, destroys the morals of the one part and the amor patria of the other. With the morals of the people, their industry also is destroyed. For in a warm climate, no man will labor for himself who can make another labor for him. This sufficiently proves my assertions and justifies me in saying that a majority of the American agents in the southern states are a set of inhuman scoundrels and ought to be tarred and feathered and tied to the tail end of a dung cart and horsewhipped throughout the country from state to state and forever after banished from human society. If slavery has become so firmly established in this country as not to be avoided or guarded against, or is such a pleasing object as to no longer be odious and irreligious, but a source of happiness and prosperity, it is high time for America to give up all pretensions to liberty and freedom and acknowledge herself at once a joint heir with John Bull. But we have not lost all hopes. We can't yet believe, sir, that you have become so depraved as to be in love with slavery, or have done reflecting upon the wrath of a just God, or that his justice cannot sleep forever. Yet there appears to me something in your administration, sir, very mysterious. What are your reasons for keeping open the execrable market where man shall be bought and sold, which you wrote so warmly against in the year 76, and condemned as a mark of disgrace, of the deepest dye in the Christian king of Britain? I cannot conceive. Is a crime of this execrable nature any more criminal in the Christian crown of Britain than in the Christian executive of America? If not, what are your reasons, sir, for suffering us since 30th November 81 to be trodden underfoot and abused in such an inhuman and brutal manner? Are not our rights as well secured to us by every law of nature's God as any man's in the universe? We think so. And therefore, sir, we consider ourselves entitled to our yearly wages from that very hour. And no man in the government, except a tyrant, can dispute our demand a single moment. And you may depend on this, sir, that we shall never be reconciled to this government till we get it, and our freedom with it. I think, sir, you can't do yourself or your country a greater honor, nor your unfortunate countrymen a greater piece of justice and mercy than by freeing your slaves and paying them for their yearly wages from 81 to this day. And then, if any slaveholder in America shall hereafter refuse or neglect so to do, let him or them be made an example of, and their heads be hung in giblets for an everlasting moment, and a terror to tyrants and evildoers. Oh, Thomas, you have had a long nap, and spent a great number of years in ease and plenty upon our hard-earned property, while we have been, in the meantime, smarting under the cowhide and sweating in the fields to raise provision to nurse tyrants to cut your throat and perpetuate our own bonds.